Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kate. I'm the web designer here at HomeGauge, and today we're going to do an intro to WordPress. So that is the website builder. This is not going to be about the HomeGauge software. It's going to be about the WordPress website builder. I have Kristen here with me today, so if you have any questions, you can type them in. She knows a lot about WordPress, and she's going to be answering your questions throughout the webinar. And we might take a break in the middle and answer some of those questions, so we'll see. So right now, I have my, it's just a very skeleton website, obviously, that we're going to be using as a demonstration. So the first thing we're going to do is learn how to log into our website. So to do that, you'll go to your domain in the address bar. This is going to be my domain. And at the end of your domain, we'll do a /, and then we'll type WP WordPress -admin, and you'll go. And this is going to bring you to the WordPress login screen. So you'll want to type in your login. And then this brings you to your WordPress dashboard. So we'll see here, this is the back side of our website, and this is where we can do all of the changes and editing and everything. And if you log into your site and it doesn't look like this, it may be a lighter color over here on the side. You probably just need to update to the latest version of WordPress, and that would probably be right here, or you can go to updates and it should give you, just an update button to do that. If you need help with that, we can always help you. So let's just go over some of the features of the navigation bar. So this right here will have your company name, and this helps you toggle between your website and your dashboard. So if you click here, you can see it takes me back to my website, and I have my little admin bar here. And then if I click on it again, it's going to take me back to my dashboard. So what I like to do while I'm working on websites is I like to right-click on this and say Open in a new tab. And then I have my dashboard on one tab and my website on my other. So when I make a change here, I can click here and refresh the page and see my updates. So let's just go over a few of these tabs on the sides. Posts we don't really need to worry about. That's going to be more for blogging. If you have a blog, then you would worry about that, but most of you are going to be using the Pages tab to edit your website, not Posts. The next tab is Media, and this is where you can upload pictures or PDFs. So if you have a PDF document you'd like to attach to something or use as a link, then you would upload that here, such as a training log or an agreement or a sample report, anything like that, but it's also for your pictures. Links we don't really need to worry about, and then Pages again, this is for your pages. So here is my welcome page, and then I have my mold page and my radon page. We're going to talk about all this stuff in depth in a few minutes. Comments you don't really need to worry about either. That goes more with the blogging. If you have a bunch of comments here, it's probably spam, and you'll want to disable those or get with us and see what to do about that, because you don't want to have a bunch of comments. That means that somewhere on your website you're allowing discussion, which we don't want to do in our cases. The next tab is Appearances, and it has a bunch of subcategories as well, and this is where we'll spend most of our time while we're editing the display and layout of our website. So this is very important. The next one is Plugins, and these are sort of like little modules you can add on to your website, like a contact form. If you have a contact form on your website, it's probably a plugin that's been installed, and you can go on here and search and find new ones. Either social media plugins, there's all kinds of plugins, so you can spend some time there. Users we don't really need to worry about. We already have our user profile set up, so if you wanted to add another one you could, or change your password, that's where you would do that. We don't need to worry about tools. Settings, this is usually if we built your site or set your site up for you, you probably don't need to worry about anything in here, but I'll just show you a few things. Under General, has your site title, which is like your inspection name, and you can actually, edit that or add LLC, whatever you want to do. And then your tagline usually shows up underneath, so right underneath here I'll show you that. So if I say Kate's Inspections, the best inspections ever, and then I save my changes here, when I refresh this, it should show my little tagline. So you can add a tagline if you want to or not. On this page, you can also change your email address or set the date and time format. This stuff you don't want to touch. You just want to leave that alone. And then under writing, there's nothing really. I mean, you can look over this and see, but there's probably nothing that needs to be done. Reading, you want to make sure you're set to a static page. That's like the website page. And then your front page you can set here too. So I want mine to be the welcome page. So if you are logging onto your site and it's showing the wrong page, like it's showing a schedule page or your services page, but you don't want it to show that, you can come here and set the page you want it to show on the front. Under discussion is where you can turn off those comments. So you can go through here and make things a little bit more difficult for people to leave comments, such as they must fill out name and email, and a comment is held for moderation. That kind of helps with spam. The last one on here that we need to worry about is permalinks. And you want to make sure that it's set to post name for SEO reasons, basically. So make sure that is set to post name and save. Okay, so now that we've gone over the basic navigation of the dashboard, let's talk about themes. So a lot of people refer to these as templates, so you can call it that, but in WordPress it's called themes. So right now I'm using a theme that's very, very simple. But to get to your themes, you'll go to Appearance and then Themes. This first page is going to show all of your installed themes. So all of these themes are installed, and these 2012, 2010, 2013, these are all of WordPress's themes that they create. They make a new one every year. And so you can search your installed themes if you have a bunch, but to add a new theme, you don't want to do that here. You want to go to Add New. And you can either search, upload. So if you have a theme in a zip file, you can upload it here. And then WordPress has some listed themes. So you have featured. These are all their featured themes. And you can kind of scroll through those. You can preview them. You can install them. And you can do this to as many as you want. It doesn't cost any money or anything like that. So you can try and activate and install as many as you want. There's also newest. So it shows the list of the newest themes. And then recently updated. So the search feature, we'll just kind of go over that for a little bit. You can type in a keyword and search, or you can use this feature filter. And I will admit this one's kind of a crapshoot. You can just click at random ones and it'll show you a list of themes. So sometimes if I'm not sure what I want, I'll just kind of click a few different ones and see what it gives me. But you can also use it as actually, I want to make sure it has red in it, and I want it to be responsive, and I want it to have theme options and a custom menu. And then you can see what it brings up for you there. So say you find one that you like, you can hit Install Now. And it's going to do the installing, and then you can activate it. And now it brings me back to my theme page. And now I can go refresh my site and see that my theme has now been updated to this one. So if I don't like that, or since we're doing a demo, I'm going to switch back to the old theme. So I'm just going to come over here. The one I was using was 2012. So I'm going to hit Activate. And then I'm going to go back to my site and refresh it. And now it's back to the theme I was using before. And so you can, if you didn't like that one and you wanted to go find another one, you can go back to Add New and start all over. So now that we have a theme installed and applied, we're going to add a logo. So right now it's just showing Kate's Inspections, which is pulling from the general on the settings over here where I typed my company name. It's just pulling that. So we're going to add the logo now for my company. So I'm going to go back to Appearance, and it's probably going to be on this one under Header. So I'm going to click Header, and there it shows what's there now. And so I'm going to browse and find my logo. And now I see logo2.png, and I'm going to hit Upload. And then this is a crop, so if it needed to be cropped, I could crop it, or I can just say skip cropping and publish image as is. So now it's installed. And when we go look at the site, we're going to see that it has still got this up here, but also has my logo. So we can go down here to header text, to show header text with your image, and say uncheck that and click Save. And we'll refresh it, and we'll see now, and that doesn't look very good. I should have put it up here. But that's the awesomeness about WordPress, is you have to try things out with your themes and see what it's going to do. So sometimes we can go to Customize, and it's not going to let us put a logo up there, but that's okay. So let's go back to that other theme that I have and see what options it gives us. So let's activate this one and refresh. And now we're back to this one. So this one actually has theme options. So the last theme that we were using did not have these options here. So sometimes it'll say theme options, or this one has the name of the theme and then says settings. And so now we have all of these other options that we didn't have with that other theme. And you're going to find that a lot of these themes, this page looks different. And it's because whoever made this theme, the company or the person that created it, made this page look like this. So it's not going to be the same with every theme. It's probably going to look different with every theme, or it's not going to have it at all. It just depends on the theme. So you'll really have to activate and look at and set up the page and see which one you like. See if it's going to work for you or not. So this one has custom logo upload. So I'm going to go to my media library, and I already uploaded my logo, so I'm just going to select it. And then Save Changes is down here. So now let's go back to the site and refresh. And it's not pulling the logo in. So let's see. Oh, that's because we have it set to site title and description. We need to change this to custom logo. Now let's see. There we go. So now I have my Kate's Inspections logo at the top. It's very cheesy and simple, but it's there. And now we'll change the background. So if you notice over here under Appearance, we have a little background tab, and we can either upload an image or we can set a background color. So I'm going to show you both. So let's say I have a background image that I want to use. So there it is, and I'm going to hit Save Changes, refresh, and there's my new background. So say I decide I don't want that as the background, you can either upload another one or you can just set a color. It's totally up to you. So now I'm going to remove the background image and select a color. So I'm going to use this orange because I saw that the theme had little orange features. So we'll set it as orange and hit Save. And now we'll go refresh. And now everything's orange. So that's how you do that, and you can change it as much as you like. And then you also have all these options over here. And then, like I said, you have the theme options. So there's more options here, and like I said before, this is going to be different with every theme, and you may not have them at all depending on the theme. So it's just kind of like whatever you get when you install it, you'll see. And so another thing that you're always going to have is this Customize. And there's two ways you can get to it. You can get to it here, or if you're looking at your site, you can hold your mouse over this and go to Customize. And now there's some extra options that you can do. You can select the background color here too. It's the same thing, just two different places. If I didn't have my logo uploaded and I was just using the site title and tagline, I could edit that here. And then I could add the background image. I could add a header image. And then I can also select which page I want to be the home page here too. And then when you're done, you can hit save if you made any changes, or you can hit close. So now what we'll do is, if you notice while I'm looking at my site that it says home and then it says how to set up your HomeGauge hosted email and then it says mold and rate on, that's not the order that I want. So I want to create a custom menu. So to do that, we're going to go back to our WordPress dashboard and we are going to go to menus. And I don't have a menu, so we're going to create one. So right here in menu name, I'm going to type in main menu and hit create over here. And then this brings up my menu structure. So over here, we have all of our pages. This is the most recent. I like to go to view all. That way you're seeing all of the pages. And then you can also search. But this is the one I use the most. So I want my home page on there, and I want mold, rate on, and services. So there we go. Now I have them, all of my pages here, and I want the services up top, so I'm just going to grab that and drag it. And then I can move these around too. And then if you want, you can make sub pages. So say under services, I wanted, when I held my mouse over services in the menu, I wanted mold and rate on to come up underneath that. You can just indent these, and then you'll see they say sub item. So then those would be a sub item of this one. And then if I wanted to move one underneath, that's how it would look. So I'm going to move those back. We're just going to have individual pages, maybe. And then we will hit save. And now when we refresh, it's still going to show the same menu that we had before because we need to select the menu. And to do that, we're going to go to Customize again. And now we have a new tab called Navigation because we have menus now. So I'm going to drop down Navigation. And this certain theme has a few different places that you can have the menu bar. So for this one, the primary navigation is probably going to be right here. So I'm going to drop this down and select my new menu. And there we go. There's my new menu. So I'm going to hit Save and Publish. And now that's saved like that. And you can also, back on the menus page, create a new menu. And you can create different menus and use them here. So if I wanted a different menu in the footer, I could create a different one. And they would say footer menu, and then I could select that one. Or you can select one you've already used. So say I want the menu in the footer as well, just so it's an extra place where people can click. You can set that there too. Another cool thing you can do is, see how this says welcome here and welcome here? The name of the page is welcome. But I want in the navigation bar this to say home instead of welcome, but I still want it to say welcome here. To do that, we'll go to our menus. And I want to go back to select my menu. There we go. And I'm going to click this little arrow over here. And the navigation label is where we can change that. So I'm going to take out welcome and put home and save it. So now when we go back to our site and refresh, it's switched back to the old menu, so we need to go back to Customize, Navigation, Main Menu, and Save. And now instead of saying welcome, which is what the page is called, it's going to say home up here now. So that's a nice way to do that, especially if a page says something really long and you don't want it to be that long in the navigation bar. You can shorten it. If you have like frequently asked questions, you could change it to FAQ up here. Or this is a good place for SEO reasons. You can type in something here that helps with your keywords, but then in the navigation bar you can have it say home. So another thing on our site that we can edit is this right sidebar. This is where your widgets go. And as you can see, I don't have any widgets right now, so it's just showing this little paragraph about it. And sometimes, most of the time, I've found when you install a theme and you don't have any widgets there, it either won't show up or it will put a bunch of stuff there that you didn't set. It'll just set all this stuff by default. So to manage our widgets, we're going to go to Appearance and then click on Widgets. And if you have a HomeGauge site, you will have in your widgets HomeGauge login. So if you want to send your customers to your site to log in to get their report, you can just drag and drop this widget right here. And you don't have to do anything. You just put it there. And now when we refresh our site, it has the customer login. So this is where they can come. Another widget I like to put here is the text widget, and this one's you'll use it for a lot of different things. You can put text or HTML or both in here. So in our case, we're going to put both. So I'm going to make this a little widget that says contact, and I'm going to put my name and my phone number. And my email address. So anybody visiting my site can contact me. And this takes HTML, so you'll notice that when we save this, we probably won't have the breaks that we put in here, even though we said enter and we put it on a new line. Unless this theme, it's not going to break it up. See how phone popped up right next to my name, even though we didn't put that here? So you'll need to put in a little bit of HTML to help break that up, and it's not hard. This is the little code to break. And you can put after each of these and save it. And when we refresh, you'll notice that now everything is nice and even. You can also do a center, so you can center it. And you can find all of these little HTML codes online. You don't have to memorize them. And now all my text is centered. And one more thing I like to do here is I like to make my email address clickable so that when they click on it, it takes them right to an email and has me as the recipient, and they can start sending me an email. So right now, if you notice, I can click on it and copy it, but it's not a link, it won't take me anywhere. So you can find this online. And you can say like email me, or I like to type in my email address again. And so now you'll notice that it went from being black to being orange because this theme says that all links are orange. So now when I click on it, it would take me to an email, pop up an email that says me as the recipient. And so now it's clickable. So that's an easy little one. You can find that online and pop that in. And then there's also different options that come with the widgets. Some of these are plugins, like this rotating text is actually a plugin that I installed. So some of the plugins will create new widgets on your screen. So just show you another one. Here's custom menu. We can drop that in. The title of my menu, I'm going to make navigation. And the menu I want it to show is the main menu, the only one we have. So now when we refresh, we now have this widget here. I've got my contact widget and my navigation widget and my customer login widget. So say we want to take off this HomeGauge login. We're going to actually create a page for the HomeGauge login. We can take that off. You can just drag it and drop it over here like that. and now it's gone. If we refresh, we'll see that we don't have the login anymore. And then you can also, like this one, if I were to drag and drop it over here, I'm going to lose all of the stuff that I typed out. So if I put it down here in inactive, now it's not there on my site, but if I wanted to add it back at any time, all of the information is still here, and I can just drag it up and drop it. And now it's back. So you'll notice that this theme, some of the themes will just have one widget area, and then some of them, like this one, have a lot of different ones. So this one's a left sidebar, so that's going to show up on the left. Then we have first footer area, second footer area, and then above content, below content. These are, it probably has a front page screen, not just this. It would have a bunch of like little boxes, and that's what those are for. So it just depends on the theme, what kind of options you get there. So now that we've covered widgets, let's move on to editing pages. This is the big one. So to go to edit your pages, there's a couple different ways you can get there. I'll show you all of them. The easiest one is right here, this little tab that says pages. If you click on it, it's going to list all of the pages I have on my website. You can also actually go to your website and click edit. That's going to bring me straight to edit this welcome page. So if I'm on services, I can click edit, and that's going to bring me to edit the services page. So the other way you can do it is you can click here, you can go to the tab on the side, or there's the little bar up here, the little edit bar. It says edit page 2, and that's going to edit whichever page you're on. So that's how you can do that. We'll just go back over here, and I want to edit my welcome page. So I'm going to hit edit, and here's where I can change the title of my page. So say I don't want it to say welcome right here. I want it to say serving Western North Carolina. And so you can hit update. Here's the update button. And now when I refresh my page, it no longer says welcome, it says serving WNC. But you'll notice since I changed the name in the menu, it's still going to say home up here, which is nice. So back here, normally it's going to look like this. We'll just go over the edit screen, what it looks like. We have the name, then this is the link to that page. This is the add media button, which we'll go over in a little bit. This is where you'll add pictures and PDFs, things like that. It's also over here. You can do that as well. And then here's your toolbar. We have bold, italic, strike through, bulleted lists, and then we have the ordered list, which would be like 1, 2, 3. And then we have block quote. Block quote's interesting. And basically you can highlight some text and click this block quote. And now you'll notice it put it in kind of like indented and italic. Depending on the theme and who made it and how they designed it, this is going to look different on every theme. So let's update it and go see what that looks like. So see, now it looks different than the rest of the text. It's kind of by itself, and it's got this little box around it. And I use the block quote mostly for testimonials. So you can put your client testimonials in a block quote. Or if you have like a slogan, you can put it in a block quote, something you want to stand out. And then I say I don't want that. I can undo that and click it again, and now it's back to regular. This is going to be a line. Just like in Word, a lot of these options are the same. So I can take this text and center it, or justify it to the right, or move it back to the left, whatever you want to do. This is another popular one. This is insert and edit link. So say I wanted to link one of something in here. Say I had, let's say I wanted to link inspections to my services page for some reason. I can click this little link, and it's going to bring up a box. And here's where I'll type in the destination URL. So I want this to link to my services page. So I'm going to go to my services page. I'm going to copy the URL, paste it in here. Might give it a title. You don't have to. And then when this is clicked, I want it to open in a new tab. So I'm going to check that box and click Add Link. And so now you'll notice that this is now linked. And if we update it and refresh our site, now it's a link. And when I click on it, and a new tab opens my services page. So you can highlight this again and click this to change it, or you can click this one to break it, so you can unlink it. So now it's not a link anymore. The next one, this is my favorite one. It's Show Hide Kitchen Sink. And when you click this, it brings up a whole other row of options, which is nice. So now we have a lot more features. So this one is, you can change the paragraph to heading or an address. These are all designated by the style sheet, whoever created this theme. So however they wanted these to look is how it's going to look. So I want About Kate's Inspections to stand out. So I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to change it to heading 2. So now I see it's bigger. And when we update it, we'll go see how the person that designed this theme wanted it to look. So now when we refresh it, that's big. So now that's in a heading. So if I don't want it that big, I can go to heading 3 or 4, and that's going to make it a little smaller, but it's still going to stand out from the rest of the text. And then if you want to make it back to normal like this other text, then you can just switch it back to paragraph. So you can play around with that with your theme and see how it looks and try out different things. This is a good way to change the size of the text, because this editor doesn't really have a good way to change the size of your text without going into the style sheet. This is underlined, just like bold and italic. I don't know why it's down here instead of right next to those, but that's the way it is. And then this is your font color. So if I want this to be like a bright red, you can do that, or it's orange. And then you can click on more colors and pick your own color. It's a pretty color. This is going to be paste as plain text. So if you're copying and pasting from somewhere, you want to do this just because it won't bring in a whole bunch of HTML code that you don't want. And then this is copy and paste from Word. So if you have a Word document and you want to bring it over and you want it to stay in that format, you can copy and paste it into this box and hit Insert, and then it'll insert the text from Word. This removes formatting. So if we highlight this and click that, it removed anything I did to it. So if I had it as heading 1 and turquoise, and then I click this remove formatting, it took out the color, but it didn't take out the heading. So if you have anything that you're like, why is that different than all my other text, you can highlight it and hit that. And that happens a lot if your site was migrated from our old builder to WordPress. Some of them need to have some formatting removed because of things that you did in the old builder. So those are the ones that I use the most with the editing tools right here. The other big thing you should know about this page is the text in the visual tabs. So visual is going to show what it's going to look like basically on your site. So I can see the turquoise and everything. I can see the block quote. But when you click on the text tab, it shows all the code. So now I can see the align left, the color, the block quote. So if you know any HTML, you can add it here, or if someone gives you an HTML code for like InterNaChi's little logo that says click to verify, that's a little code that they give you, and you can paste it in here on this side on the text tab. And then when you switch to visual, you would get to see what that looked like. So you can toggle between these two and see what's going on. So that's if you get to log into your site and you go to edit page and you're like, this doesn't make any sense. There's a bunch of crazy stuff in here. You're probably going to be on the text tab and you want to switch over to the visual tab. You can edit on both though. I could change my text here or write in some HTML code myself instead of using the edits. And then you just hit update when you're done. So this is the update button. And then this is, we don't really need to worry about this. Some templates have like different page templates that you can use throughout the theme, but you'll really need to know what you're doing with the theme to use those. So normally you don't need to worry about this. Then right now I have discussion checked so I can see the discussion. So if you have a page that has comments that's allowing people to comment on, you can come here and uncheck that allow comments box. You want to make sure we don't want anybody commenting on our stuff. You also have screen options up here. And if you do that, this is where you can check different things. So if you don't want something to show up, you can uncheck those. And then discussion, most of the time it's not showing. So if you have comments showing and you want to uncheck them but that box isn't there, you can come here and check that box and it'll start showing. And then you can also show your revisions. So these are all the changes that I've made to this page. And I can go back to an older version of this page before I made all these changes and restore it. So let's save all of our changes. And now say we want to add a new page. So I've got all these pages here, but I want to add a new one. I can just click right here, add new, or I can go to pages and go to add new, or you can do it from your website up here. You can say new page. So any way you want to do it. So I want to call this page about us, and I'm going to write about my company. And I'm going to say Kate's Inspections has been in business for 2 whole years. Such a long time. And then I'll show you the bullet points. So I can say we offer, and then I'm going to show you how the bullet points work. So you just click this button, and now I have a bullet point. So I'm going to say residential. And then I can hit enter and it brings up a new bullet point. And I can say commercial. And then I can say radon and mold. And then if you hit enter twice, it brings you to a new paragraph and takes you away from the bullet points. So now I'll show you how to add a picture. So say I have a company picture and I want to put that right above. So when anybody goes to our About Us page, they can see a company photo. So I'm going to click on Add Media. And it brings up my media library. And so if you notice, these are all the things that I have added to my website. My logo, that background image that I added. But I don't see my company picture here. So I'm going to upload it. So I'm going to go to Upload Files. And if you have 2 screens, or if you have this smaller, you can drag and drop the files right on here from your desktop or wherever, and it'll start showing and it'll download. But I'm going to select the files, and here's my company picture, and I'm going to open it. And now it's here, and I'm going to say Insert, and that's really way too big. We don't want it to be that big. So there's one thing that you can do, and it depends on the browser that you're using. I'm using Firefox right now, and this is the only one I know that can do this. If you click on the picture, you'll see that these little boxes come up, and if I hold my mouse on one, I can drag and drop and resize this picture. I know that in Google Chrome you cannot do this. I don't know about Internet Explorer. So if you hold down Shift and do this, it'll make sure that everything's even too. We're just going to make this small. You can also resize it before you upload it, which is what I do most of the time, is I'll just resize it before I even put it on the site. And so now there's a few options that you can do once you've got your picture in there. So you can click on the picture and resize it, or you can, when you click on it, you can either delete it with this one, or you can click right here and it brings up some more options for your picture. So you can align it left, center, right, and that will, like if you do it right, all the text is going to show up to the right of the picture. So you can kind of put a picture in the middle of your text. You can give it a title and alt text. Those help with SEO. And then you can also give it a caption. So I can say, my company. And then it's going to show up underneath the picture. We'll see that in a minute. And then if you go to advanced settings, you can change the size here too, or you can go back to your original size. Unless these are like both say 65 and 65, you don't want to edit these unless you know exactly what to do, or your picture is going to look funny. Another thing you can do is give it a border, so I can say like 2 or 3 in here, and it's going to put a little black border around the image when we save it. Another thing you can do is link it or not link it. So right now it's going to, if someone goes to my site and they look at this page and they click on the picture, it's going to show the picture as it was uploaded on its own page, so it's going to show up bigger. So I can unlink that so that when they click on it nothing happens, or I can link it to another URL. So I can link it to another website or another page on my website. So this is especially helpful if you put in an organization logo like ASHI or Internachi and you want it to link back to their site. So I'm going to click None. It's going to take out the link, and I'm going to hit Update. So now my caption is shown up, and then I also put a little black border around the picture like I asked it to. And so to take that out, you can either highlight it and take it out or backspace it, or you can just click this little X and it'll delete it. So we're going to publish our new page. And now when we go to our site, we're going to notice that that page is not showing up in the menu bar. So where's my new page? It's still there. It's still online. But we need to go and add it to the menu that we created to get it to show up. So we'll go back over here. And we'll go to Menus. And I'm going to go to View All. And there's my About Us page. So I'm going to check it and say Add to Menu. And I want it to go right underneath my Services page. So I'm going to drag it there and save. And now when we refresh our site, there it is. You can see it right there. And another thing you can do on menus is you can go to links, and you can make one of these menu tabs link directly to a document that you uploaded or a link on another website. So for example, to show this off, I'm going to add a sample report to my website. So I'm going to go to my uploaded reports on HomeGauge.com, and I'm going to just take this document, which is password protected, and I'm going to make it public so that I can use it as a sample report. So I'm going to click on my viewing tab and go to Make Public, and I'm going to have to sign in first. And go back to my report. It kicked me out. I'll just use this one. I'm going to go to Viewing, Make Public. Yes, I'm sure I want to make that public. And then it says the link for someone to view this report is this. So I'm going to take that link and copy it. Now I'm going to go back over to my menus and paste it here. So this is what I want this new tab in my menu to link to. Not a page on my website, but an actual page on the internet somewhere else. So I'm going to give it a menu name, which is Sample Report, and click Add to Menu. And I'm going to drag it up here and save. And now when we go back to our site, now I have my new pages all in order, and when I click on Sample Report, it takes me to this report that I uploaded, which is not a real report. It was just a demo for Housemaster. But it takes it to that, and I can go back to my website. Another popular thing that we like to do, and I know that you guys want to know how to do, is to add your HomeGauge testimonials or business scheduler to your website. So right now I don't have a way to schedule an appointment besides calling me or emailing me. So I want to add my HomeGauge business scheduler to my website. So I'm going to click Add New, and I'm going to type Schedule and Inspection. And I don't want to actually type anything in here. I just wanted to pull my business scheduler. So I'm going to go to the Text tab. And I'm going to go to HomeGauge and find out where that code is. We have it listed on our website somewhere. There it is. And I'm going to copy that code, go back to my page, make sure you're on the text tab, not the visual tab, paste it. And then for this code, we have to put in our HomeGauge ID number so that knows which business scheduler to pull. So I'm going to hit publish. I'm going to go back to my menu and add it and save it. Now when we go back to our site, when I schedule an inspection, well, I'm logged into HomeGauge, so it's not going to show, but if I wasn't logged into HomeGauge.com on this browser, it would show my business scheduler here. And you'll notice that when you create this page with the business scheduler, you add it to the text tab. And when you click on visual, it's not going to show you anything. That's the way it's supposed to look, so don't freak out if that happens. Another thing we can do is add our HomeGauge testimonials. So if someone's written you some testimonials on HomeGauge.com and you want to display them on your website, you can add a new page, type in testimonials, and we'll go to the text tab because we're adding HTML. And we'll go find, put your ratings on your website. Here it is. It's a big long one. Copy it, paste it. And then here I have to add two different numbers. One's my service ID number, and the other one is my HomeGauge inspector number. And if you don't know these, which you probably don't, I think you can find them on your HomeGauge dashboard on HomeGauge.com, but you can send us an email to support or give us a call and we'll be happy to tell you what those numbers are. So if I go back to our visual tab, I'm not going to see anything. But when I publish this and go view it, see, before even adding it to the menu, I can click this view page right here and see the page. So I only have one testimonial. It's pretty sad. But if I had a bunch more, which most of you do, they would pull up in a little box and I'd be able to scroll. And these pull in automatically. So anytime somebody leaves you a testimonial on HomeGauge.com, it's going to automatically put it here and you won't have to worry about adding it yourself, which is really nice. So you really just have to set this page up once. So just to reiterate, I'm going to go back to my menu and add this new page to the list and save. That way you know to get in the habit of doing that every time you add something. So another place, a lot of you have wondered, why can't I move this over here? Why is that this color? And it won't let me change it. Sometimes these themes will let you change some of the stuff, but a lot of times it won't. And that's because it's in the editor. And you really don't want to go in here unless you know what you're doing. This is the style sheet, and this is going to tell you exactly, whoever created this theme set this up to be a certain way. So that's why this font is like this. And these boxes are like this because someone set that. So it's not as easy to change some things, which is why it's important to get a good theme that fits for you, because a lot of things you aren't going to be able to change unless you're know computer code like PHP and CSS. So unless you know those, you might want to stay out of here. So that's where some of this stuff is. Another thing we can talk about are plugins. We'll probably do another webinar to go into depth with these. When you have a website with HomeGauge or WordPress website, some of these are going to automatically come in. This is the all-in-one SEO pack, and I'm sure some of you have heard me talk about this before. You can come in here and activate it if it isn't already. And now I have a new tab. So I activated this plugin, and now I can go here and I can add home titles, home descriptions, and this is going to help with your search engine optimization or SEO. And if you're not sure what to put there, because it is very confusing, you can hit this little question mark and it'll give you a description. So if you haven't already, you may want to go in and activate and play with your all-in-one SEO tab on your website and go through some of these and add some keywords and titles and descriptions, which can help with your SEO. If you set up Google Analytics to track your site, you can also easily add your Google Analytics ID here too. So if you can spend some time in here, there's a lot of things you don't need to worry about that even I don't know what they mean. So if you're not sure what it means even after you click the little question mark, don't worry about it. Or if you see something like this, just don't worry about it. So I'm going to check with Kristen and see if we have any questions that we should go over before we end. So give us just a second. Okay, so we did have a really good question. Someone said that under appearance in their WordPress site, they didn't have the header option, and that's okay. Like I said before, some of your themes are not going to have other options that some do have, and other times they're going to be hidden somewhere else. So if you don't have the header option here, the settings that change that might be hidden in your theme settings, or you might just not have it at all. So it just depends on the theme what you're going to get. So if you go activate a theme and it doesn't have something that you need, then you are going to probably have to pick another theme. And see, this one has header settings here too. So it really totally just depends on who your theme was made by, the company or the person, what you're going to get. And so that's the amazing thing with WordPress. Everything is different. All these themes are different. And you're not stuck with just the themes that you can find here. You can go on the internet and Google search WordPress themes and you can find free ones or you can buy ones. So some are like $40, $50 and some are more expensive. But if you find a theme that you think you really, really like, you can buy it. And they're usually going to have better theme options and more options without going into the editor of things you can do. So if you do decide to buy a theme, you're going to have a lot more options and better options. So, but you want to make sure, because they're usually not refundable, that you actually want to buy it. So I think that is all we have time for today. I hope that you guys all learned a lot. Thank you for coming. This was just a quick intro for anyone who hasn't really messed around with WordPress a lot or who has never logged into their WordPress site. And we will be posting this on our YouTube channel. So if you want to watch it again or if you missed something, then you can always catch it on our YouTube channel in a few days. And then there's also, I just want to let you guys know that there are a ton of WordPress tutorials online. This is not proprietary to HomeGauge. So all of the stuff in here you're going to find any WordPress site has. We do not change anything. We do add a little plugin for the login and add a few things here and there, but you can do anything on here that anybody else can do with their WordPress site. So there's a ton of stuff on Google because WordPress is so popular. And if you just do some searches, you can find more tutorial videos like this one, or you can find, just people that write tutorials instead of watching a video. If you have any questions, you can please email me or Kristen or support@HomeGauge, or you can give us a call and we'll be happy to help you guys. So I hope you all learned a lot, and we'll see you next time.